The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
Coming up on the Badgers Sports Report, head coach Bret Bielema reviews Badger football training camp. We'll hear from one of the 6 new assistant coaches, offensive coordinator Matt Canada, and we'll check in with Badgers starting quarterback Danny O'Brien.
You look up there and, you see 2011, 2012, but, to us, it's unfinished business.
There's always room for improvement. I mean, these coaches will not let you think anything else.
The depth and the development that we've had in the past is really what helps people step up into those positions, and I'm excited to see some of the young guys step up now.
If we just focus on every day, don't let a day get away, I think that we can, keep improving.
Pretty high goals this year, but I think we've got the talent and the work ethic to get it done.
Ball high step to the 5, touchdown Wisconsin. Off by Taylor, 40, 45, 50. Fires picked off, Borland with room, 40, breaks a tackle, touchdown James White. The Wisconsin Badgers are headed to Pasadena. There it is, Ron Dames. In zone, Abradaris, he has it, touchdown Wisconsin. And it's intercepted by Shelton Johnson.
The Badger Sports Report with Bret Bielema is brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, Coca-Cola, Charter Communications, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, Hyundai, Adidas, and UW Health, a cornerstone partner of Wisconsin athletics.
These are the heavyweights, the visionaries, the A-listers. These are the people inventing the technologies and establishing the protocols for treatments that don't yet exist. This is who you turn to when no one else seems to have the answer. These are the world-class physicians, researchers, and healthcare professionals at UW Health and the University of Wisconsin. UW Health. Remarkable.
Charter Business helps businesses achieve everyday victories. Want to be victorious today? Pick up the phone, switch to Charter Business, and start saving over $50 a month. You'll enjoy internet 6 times faster than standard DSL. Plus, business phone with unlimited long distance. If saving over $50 a month doesn't make your decision easy, this will. Call now and get up to a $500 gift card. But hurry, because this offer won't last. To the victor go the spoils.
The Hyundai Genesis. In a new, faster acting formula. Zero to 60 in less time than a Porsche Panamera S. The 429 horsepower Genesis R-Spec from Hyundai.
Ah, the workout is over. Time to recover, refuel, and re-energize. Recent studies suggest that one drink can help muscles recover faster than other leading sports drinks. Delicious, nutritious chocolate milk. With its powerful package of protein, potassium, calcium, and 6 other essential nutrients, shouldn't chocolate milk be your choice? Got chocolate milk?
From Camp Randall Stadium, welcome to the season premiere of the Badger Sports Report with head coach Bret Bielema, obviously here on the floor of Camp Randall Stadium, this classic building, but with age it continues to get better. Bret, some work being done as we speak. This whole place looking better by the year, isn't it?
It is. The best part, we obviously laid down this new turf first couple of weeks of June. So we've had all kinds of campers through here. We've been through obviously all the camp sessions, and then probably the nicest addition is just all the history up on the stadium suite side over there with not only retired players but all the Rose Bowl appearances and Big Ten championships.
Year 7 for a 9 actually being on campus here. The first 2 as defensive coordinator, now your 7th year as a head coach. It's kind of hard to believe that there's only one coach in this league who has been at his school longer, but you've moved up the seniority charts here.
Yeah, and I was with that guy for his first 3 years too. So been here a while. The thing I love is just, each year presents it's all new set of opportunities, challenges, whatever you want to say. And I think this group has really embraced everything that's been thrown at them. I'm excited to get in our game week preparation and get ready for that opener against UNI and work ourselves through the schedule.
Part of the opportunity or challenge, depending on how you want to put it, 6 new assistant coaches, and I think you've used the word opportunity there more than you've used the word challenge. Talk about that. They will all say that the transition is over, but just update folks on how that transition has worked.
Yeah, it's been pretty seamless. I think, especially on the offense side of the ball, we got 4 guys back, or 4 guys new out of the original 5 from a year ago. And Thomas Hammock, I give him all the credit in the world, did a nice job of kind of making that smooth things over. And I have said, once we started back to fall camp, the word transition's kind of done. We've been through the spring, we've been through the summer, jumped into fall camp. Obviously, we're going to jump into our first game here in a few days. So it's kind of an interesting time, but I've been amazed. You got good coaches who come from good programs who know the history. We really haven't changed anything we've done here at Wisconsin, but obviously the proof will be in the pudding this fall.
The interesting thing is this is a fairly young group of coaches, yet there's a lot of experience. And for Badger fans, at least a couple of names that should be pretty familiar with Mr. Strickland and Mr. Faulkner, right?
Yeah, it's good to have 2 former players. Obviously, Ben Strickland, was a player here when I first got here. I saw him grow into a captain role. I saw him work as a high school coach in the state of Minnesota. I was able to lure him back as a GA, and I started calling all these coaches and telling them why they should hire him. And I said to myself, why don't I hire him? And has been a great addition, done a great job for us in recruiting, has got a player's pulse on things. And then Eddie Faulkner has just blown me away since the first time I've met him to where we are today. A real analytical guy, does a great job working with our tight ends, got a good group to work with, which makes you a good coach in a hurry as well. But I really like the aspect that he brings to it, a little bit of the history here at Wisconsin before I was even here.
You're probably wondering when they're going to start talking about the quarterbacks. Well, here we go. Question 4 or 5, whatever it is. One of the things that you talked about to the media, to fans, whoever, is that whoever the starter was going to end up being, you've liked what you've seen out of this group collectively, right?
It has. I'm a big believer in a head coach that competition brings the best out of people. I think that's true throughout your life. Anytime you got someone that you're competing with, you're going to have to be on top of your game. And I really like what the 3 guys came into camp. The great thing was after we did make an announcement and made Danny as our starter, Kurt and Joel probably had their best day the next day. They didn't lose a beat. They're very engaged. They know that when their time comes, they want to be ready for the challenge. And obviously, to have 3 quarterbacks that could possibly win on this level is a blessing.
A lot is being written and said about Danny O'Brien, and that's understandable. But with Kurt, who's trying to do something that's pretty tough, coming back from 3 surgeries, is it fair to say that he maybe needed a few practices to settle? And it seemed like he felt more comfortable when you got into week 2 than maybe week 1.
Absolutely. I think, he hadn't played for 2 years, bottom line, to stand in the pocket, have people flying by you, be able to make decisions on the run, be able to make decisions, in the throwing game and being able to transition the actual throw itself. I've been very happy with Kurt. My heart and my hat goes off to him because, I went through 2 ACLs. I know how tough that was. He's coming off of 3, and to play at the level he's at right now is pretty unbelievable.
I know Danny O'Brien seems like a very smart young man. I think he understands it. He knows that people are going to mention the words Russell and Wilson to him a lot, but he seems like a pretty smart guy and is just worried about being Danny O'Brien. Am I reading him right?
I am. I think that you're 100% right. Obviously, the comparisons are going to come, transfer, ACC, all that jazz, but 2 completely different players. You know what? I say that a lot, but I also say 2 players that are a lot alike in certain regards. I think they're both tremendous competitors. They're guys that like to take advantage of every opportunity they get. And where they end up at the end of the day is going to be told by how they perform here. And obviously, Danny's got 2 years to do it, whereas Russell had 1. But as you know, Russell's doing some good things in the NFL, so I think his opportunities are still in front of him as far as at the NFL level. But I'm excited to see Danny grow in the next couple of weeks.
And clearly, Joel Stavey has a very bright future as a Badger as well. And whoever the quarterback is, has a nice collection of running backs. People know about Monte Ball, but those other guys aren't half bad either, are they?
No, they're good, Matt. I think, the one that's jumped out to me and more than anything has been the emergence of Jeff Lewis and Vontae Jackson, 2 guys that are trying to get into that mention. But I know we all know James White, obviously Big Ten Player of the Year a couple of years back, but Melvin Gordon has just continued to impress and had a nice scrimmage a couple weeks back. And I think it's safe to say that we got 3 guys that could probably play championship-winning football and 2 guys that aren't too far behind them.
Clearly the wide receiving core led by Jared Abradaris. You Badger fans know about him. You've started to learn about Jeff Duckworth. The younger group, though, what's jumped out to you about those guys?
At Z, you got a guy by the name of Jordan Frederick, who's a Memorial product right here in Madison, who's had a nice camp. Chase Hammond has continued to do some really, really good things. I think a young receiver that's come onto the scene, A.J. Jordan, really has huge potential and some gifts that a lot of guys don't have. Isaiah Williams came into camp late, and I think he's doing some good things. And then, of course, Kenzel Doe and Jeff Duckworth, we use them a little bit in the slot, but they're guys that, Jeff's biggest strength is he knows all three wide receiver positions, and Kenzel's got a unique skill set that nobody else on the team really has.
We've talked a lot about offense here, briefly on the defense. Health, it was good in some areas, but it bit you in some others with Devin Smith, David Gilbert. I mean, for you as coaches, it's got to be exciting seeing those guys out there.
It is. When our number one defense is out there, they've been pretty stout. Anytime you're able to have the playmakers of Chris Borland, Mike Taylor, and Ethan Armstrong in our one big scrimmage was probably the best linebacker in the group. And to have those three guys play at a high level and to know that you got a guy like Derek Landish and Connor O'Neill coming off the bench. Nick Hill's done a lot of good things. Marcus Trotter's been a solid guy for us. So I think we've got some depth, up front. I know you're going to hit on it, but David Gilbert, Brendan Kelly, Pat Muldoon, those three guys, if we get Tyler Dippleback being healthy and inside with Bo Allen and Ethan Hemer, that's a pretty stout group.
Kicking game, there will be new specialists this year. Maybe the big thing, though, Brett, are the rules changes.
Yeah.
A little adjustment now on kickoffs, right?
There is. We'll be kicking off from the 35, which I think should increase the number of kickoffs, number of touchbacks. And then the flip side of it, we changed our rules to the same exact rulings in the NFL. 35-yard line, you have to be within 5 yards of the kick for all coverage guys except for the kicker. So some details there that are kind of hard to work through. But one element we changed, of course, is if the ball lands and is a touchback, it comes out to the 25-yard line, not the 20. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays into the game.
Well, the kickoffs, that's been an area of this sport that has been of some concern to you for a while.
It is. I think that's the number one play, injury-wise, that jumps out to you. You got full-speed collisions happening all over the place, a lot of bodies flying into bodies. A lot of times it's not the guy that hits or the guy that gets hit. It's the guy that he lands into that is hurt. And just one of those things that I think we've bettered the game and made it safer for our players.
About half a minute left. There are some other changes as well. The biggest one, low blocks, though, that's been expanded.
It has. There's some details of it. We're allowing some guys, if they start in the proper position, to motion and still cut, which wasn't there available a year ago. And then also some parameters on the defensive side of the ball and what they can and cannot cut.
All right, the head coach will rejoin us in a few minutes with our first installment this season of the Great Day and Great Question of the Week. We'll also hear from offensive coordinator Matt Canada and quarterback Danny O'Brien. That's all ahead on the Badger Sports Report.
Where others saw lumber, we recognized a treasure. Where others saw the night, we chose the stars. Where others saw pieces, we unlocked the puzzle that could mean the end of paralysis and cancer. Since 1848, thinkers and achievers at Wisconsin have fearlessly sought ideas that transform the world. Keep on, Wisconsin. Keep on.
Mike on the mic. Brought to you by Hyundai.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Lucas for UWBadgers.com. I'm joined by Wisconsin offensive coordinator Matt Canada. Matt, what were some of the things that factored into Danny O'Brien winning the starting job?
I think he did a great job, coming in, learning our offense, learning our system. He really, probably the biggest factor, he took care of the football, as far as interceptions or lack thereof, and that was something that was very important to the success of our offense, the way we're going to play.
How did the competition overall help each of the quarterbacks?
Competition's a great thing. Said that from the very beginning, and you got three guys who come in and compete, three guys who played very, very well. I mean, percentages and the things they did were extremely close. All of them have unique strengths, a little bit different. All of them are, very, very smart, good guys to be around, fun guys to coach. So I think they all made each other better, and they still are. It's not like competition ends. They're still fighting, and everybody's working really hard.
Do you anticipate there are areas where Danny O'Brien will get better as you begin game planning for opponents?
I would hope so. I certainly hope so. And we're going to maximize our strengths, and that's certainly what we're going to do as coaches, is put our players in position to make plays. So we're going to do what Danny does the best when he's on the field. If Joel's on the field, if Kurt's on the field, we do the same thing for them. So the first part of camp was learning our offense, letting everybody do everything. Then as it's winding down a little bit, getting more to what each kid does well, and then we'll certainly focus on that with the guy who's playing.
Besides the quarterback question, a lot of people have been wondering about your wide receivers. Did you get any answers during camp there?
I think we have. Obviously, Abby's such a great leader and a guy that we all know about. And then the other guys are coming on. Jordan Fredericks had a great camp, made a lot of good plays out there and done a good job. And everybody else is just kind of working through it, doing a good job from doe to duck. All the way through. AJ's had some plays. Chase had a big catch. Vanessa had a good catch. So that's been kind of ups and downs, and it's still a work in progress. We've got a bunch of guys who can play, and everybody's fighting to beat, one of those 2-3 guys on the field.
Probably tough to accelerate the maturity in that area.
It's a challenging spot. The best thing you can say about our receivers is they're blocking extremely well. The effort that they're showing blocking is second to none. I said that to Coach Azani this morning. I really think that the way they're blocking has been impressive, and that's effort. That's just effort. It has nothing to do with talent. Has to do with great effort and being unselfish. So we'll continue to get them better, and they're making plays on the edge.
That's a great segue into the running game. Can you get Monte Ball up to speed before the opener?
No question. He'll be ready to go.
The others, though, have taken advantage of their reps with Ball sideline.
There's no doubt. I mean, you look at who, James White's a 1,000-yard rusher and a great player. Melvin Gordon's come in and done a great job, and Jeff and Vontae as well. So we've got a very good group of running backs who work extremely hard every day. Coach Hammock does a great job coaching them hard and coaching them right, and they stepped in, and we've not missed a beat. Certainly Monty's a tremendous player and a guy that we're excited to have back out here full speed, but those guys have taken advantage of their reps and done a great job.
I know you want to see continuity up front. Have you gotten that?
I think so. I think what we're looking at, the right guard spot is still something we're kind of working through, I would say, to be in as we go forward, but every other spot is pretty much solidified right now. Again, competition is an everyday deal. Coach talks about it being 1-0 every day, so nobody's job is cemented in stone, but certainly we've gotten some continuity. Those guys are doing a good job, and our leadership, is pretty good from Ricky and Travis up there up front. The other guys are coming on and playing well.
Any big surprises for you in this camp?
Not really. I mean, I think I had a good feeling how hard our kids work. Our kids work extremely hard. They play hard, they practice hard, they care about what they do. And I've been very pleased with the way we've played. Had a very, very good scrimmage on Saturday. Very productive day. And we got a long way to go till the opener, but we're moving in the right direction.
So what do you enjoy more, putting in the offense during the week or calling plays on Saturdays?
All of it. I think I got the greatest job in America. I say it all the time. I mean, if you go into a game week, Sunday's fun. I get to watch what we did and grind on the bad calls I made that really are going to eat at me and enjoy the ones that worked. And then you get into the opponent Sunday night. Monday you continue to do that, and Tuesday you give it to your kids and see which ones they like and which ones they don't, right on through the deal. And then obviously game day's, an exciting time. So it's all fun, all of it. You enjoy being around. I enjoy being around our guys, the staff. We enjoy working, we enjoy being around our players. So it's all fun.
Hey, nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
Good luck this year.
Appreciate it.
It's game on at your Badgerland Chevy dealer.
Choose from over 900 new Chevy Silverados and more arriving daily in the Badgerland area. Crew cabs, extended cabs, 4x4s, all clearly marked with Chevy's lowest total confidence price. Save up to $9,400. That's right, up to $9,400 on a Chevy Silverado All-Star Edition.
Now is the time for a great deal on a new Chevy.
The price you see is the price you pay.
Chevy is #1 in Wisconsin. Get your next Chevy at your Badgerland Chevy dealer.
What light does gets in your head. You can't avoid it.
You can't escape it. Because what light does weighs on you. Do what light does in the 7.9-ounce Audi 05 Star.
We are not magicians or superheroes. We have no special powers or magic wands. We cannot pull rabbits out of our hats or make things disappear. We are not magicians, but some days we do perform a little magic. We are the world-class physicians, researchers, and healthcare professionals at the American Family Children's Hospital at the University of Wisconsin. UW Health. Remarkable.
For the third straight season, the Wisconsin Badgers will have a new starting quarterback. In those years, they have gone from Scott Tolzien to Russell Wilson, and now Danny O'Brien gets the starting call on September 1st when the Badgers open up against Northern Iowa. Now, like Russell Wilson, Danny O'Brien comes from the ACC. O'Brien played the last 2 years at Maryland. And it sounds as though the transition for O'Brien has been a smooth one.
It is. It's been very relieving just to focus on football and get back to playing football again. You know, not going through spring ball this past spring. You know, I missed being out there and everything. So getting out here in fall camp has been, you know, great just to focus on one thing, getting better every day.
Tell fans, give fans an idea of what the transition has been like, getting here in summer, just getting yourself acclimated with your teammates and getting acclimated with Madison, Wisconsin.
It's been great, and obviously with the transition, getting to know 105 new football players is a transition, but you know, I think it's a very special group of guys, and you know, the tradition here at Madison, playing football here for the Badgers, has been, you know, unbelievable, and it's been as smooth as possible, and I think that's largely due to the coaches and the guys in the locker room.
Give us an idea, Danny fans, when they watch Danny O'Brien play, when you're playing well, what kind of quarterback are fans going to see?
I think my experience plays a little bit into it. I think I'm pretty poised on the field. I'm going to be very prepared every week. I think I'm a pass-first quarterback and run second. But, you know, I think I can make plays a little bit when the pocket breaks down and things of that nature. But, you know, just going to be level-headed, you know, short-term memory, that kind of a guy, and I think that's what a quarterback should be.
I was talking to Joel Stavy about this, and obviously with any position group that the quarterback gets asked about a lot, there's competition, but there seems to be a camaraderie as well. Are you sensing the same thing here?
Absolutely. I think the quarterback room is a pretty unique room just because, you know, people don't really know what quarterbacks go through, and having, you know, a great group of guys like Stave, Phillips, Brennan, and Chase Knox. I think it's a close room, and we kind of are there for each other, and obviously we're competing, but, you know, we're obviously friends off the field.
Obviously you're with some big guys at Maryland. Have you ever seen bigger human beings than some of your offensive linemen, a couple you're living with now, and the guys who are going to be protecting the quarterback here?
It's an unbelievable group of linemen. It's really special, and not only their size, but, you know, how they can move and how they work every day. I think it's pretty rare.
We stand in this stadium here, and it's pretty close to empty right now, and I know there's very much that day at a time philosophy here, but can you every now and then kind of cheat and imagine 80,000 people in here, and what a game atmosphere is like at Camp Randall?
Yeah, I certainly can't imagine it, and I'll figure out on September 1st what it's like, but talking to the guys, it's a really special place to play, and I can't wait to experience it for the first time, and, you know, certainly practicing on this field every day. You think about it sometimes walking off the field.
Lab report says epibetadine.
What's epibetadine?
No idea. You need to go on the DA. We need a warrant to hold Salazar.
He's where? Machu Picchu? Where's Machu Picchu? Sounds like a sneeze.
Where am I ever going to find a laundromat around here?
Experience the speed of Charter with all your devices on the nation's fastest internet.
The Hyundai Genesis. In a new, faster acting formula. to 60 in less time than a Porsche Panamera S. The 429 horsepower Genesis R-Spec from Hyundai.
When you buy Wisconsin dairy products, your hard-earned dollar brings you more than just the quality and great taste you know and love. It supports the dairy industry, which in turn reinvests that money back into your community, resulting in better public services, abundant recreation opportunities, and a beautiful place to call home. In all, dairy contributes $26.5 billion to Wisconsin's economy and eventually comes back to benefit you. To learn more, visit youtube.com/dairyimpactwisconsin.
The Learfield Sports Directors Cup is the crowning achievement in college athletics, awarded annually to the nation's best overall program in each division, both women's and men's sports. Celebrating its 20th anniversary, the Learfield Sports Directors Cup proudly honors exceptional student athletes and their schools. To follow your favorite team, visit thedirectorscup.com. Look for standings regularly in USA Today, or follow the Learfield Sports Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. The Learfield Sports Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
The Badger Sports Report with Bret Bielema is brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, Coca-Cola, Charter Communications, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, Hyundai, Adidas, and UW Health, a cornerstone partner of Wisconsin athletics.
For this season, the first installment of the Great Dane Great Question of the Week comes from Jake in Fond du Lac. Wants to know, since the NFL has preseason games, would it make sense to allow a college exhibition or a scrimmage with a team that's not on your schedule?
Jake, that's a great question. I think the fact that as head coaches, we've talked about that the last 3 or 4 years. As numbers get more depleted in the world of college football, dropping down X number of players, it's one of those things that's intrigued us. The hard part is getting the NCAA to buy in, because obviously it would be a revenue factor. Teams that don't have enough money to travel and play other teams. So you might have to regionalize it and also put some pretty strict parameters on how many of them can take place so that nobody gets really a recruiting advantage. But I could see that in the future, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road. Not necessarily an exhibition game, but maybe a scrimmage type situation where there really isn't a score kept, and probably would not invite fans in.
All right, Jake, thanks much for your question. The Great Dane has 4 locations in Madison on the east side of town, downtown, Hilldale, and Fitchburg. The Fitchburg location is where Coach Bielema has his radio shows once again this season, Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. And remember, there is a Great Dane in Wausau as well. The season begins on Saturday, September 1st. The Badgers against University of Northern Iowa. Kickoff right here at Camp Randall will be 2:30. Join us next week as Coach recaps game number 1 and looks ahead to road trip number 1 as the Badgers head out to Oregon State. Thanks for watching.
For more than 60 years, the Mendota Gridiron Club has been a loyal supporter to the Badger football program. In my 20 years in college football, I have never seen anything like the Mendota Gridiron Club. As a member, you'll get closer to the program with weekly meetings during the season, special events, golf outings, and more. In today's tough economy, we appreciate your support now more than ever. Become a part of something special. Become a Mendota Gridiron Club member today.
What light does gets in your head. You can't avoid it. You can't escape it. Because what light does weighs on you. Do what light does in the 7.9-ounce Audi 05 Star.
Where others saw limits, we found a key to feeding a hungry planet. Where others thought big, we proved the power of small. Where others saw a frozen desert, we discovered a lens into the heart of the universe. Since 1848, thinkers and achievers at Wisconsin have fearlessly sought ideas that transform the world. Keep on, Wisconsin. Keep on.